What's up, your boy for another reaction? And today we have Under Armour from 20 billion Nike killer to Kohl's clearance rack by junk bond investor. Now I ain't gonna lie, New
Back in
Balance.
2015,
I said New Balance, Under Armour. Under Armour was going OD with the football. Like everybody had them Under Armour cleats. Cam Newton had them in like 2015. The pink gloves, the pink Under Armour gloves. And yeah, in 2015, you about to talk about it.
Under
That was the height of Under Armour.
Armour
And
looked
that was low-key the height of football.
like the only brand capable of actually hurting Nike. But fast forward to early 2026, and the story has completely changed. The Nike
Niggas was a one-year wonder.
killer is now a company shrinking itself just to stay relevant. They've lost their biggest star. Their founder is back in the CEO seat after a series of failed leadership experiments, and they've spent years paying for accounting choices that almost brought the whole house down. It's a story of a brand that forgot what it was, and by the time it tried to remember, the world had moved on. You're going to see how a multi-billion-dollar empire gets hollowed out by its own ambition, and why the final divorce from its most iconic athlete was the only possible ending.
Them niggas was making Curry Street bullshit. Like, those his shoes. But nobody want no Curry Under Armour shoes, but it was just cooking street trash for Curry, doing them wrong. This the greatest point guard of all time, my nigga. Like,
The rise of Under Armour was an explosion that changed the entire athletic apparel industry. In 1996, Kevin Plank started the company in his grandmother's basement, trying to create a synthetic shirt that didn't soak up sweat like a cotton tee. Plank found both a solution and a niche, and he filled it with an intensity that defined the company for 2 decades. By 2014, the brand had achieved the unthinkable by surpassing Adidas to become the second biggest sportswear brand in the United States. They were the gritty underdog that athletes actually wanted to wear. Plank often talked about the brand having a chip on its shoulder, and that attitude translated into a historic streak of 26 consecutive quarters, with at least 20% revenue growth. The peak of this confidence came in 2015. During a massive investor day that year, the company's leadership team told the world they expected revenue to nearly double by 2018, hitting a target of $7.5 billion. And they believed them, because they were winning the talent war. They locked in golfer Jordan Spieth early, then extended his deal right before he became a Masters champion. Then they pulled off the steal of the century by signing NBA star Stephen Curry after he walked away from Nike.
Stephen Curry, I don't even know why you signed with Under Armour. Like, why would you sign? Like, bro, why? Like, your ass should have went to Jordan. If you want to leave Nike game, you should have went to Jordan or something like Under Armour game.
When Curry's first signature shoe,
But like I said, bro, in 2015, bro, Under Armour was that shit, bro. It was.
launched, footwear sales jumped by 64% in a single quarter. Under Armour had become a legitimate threat in the high-stakes, high-margin sneaker business that Nike had dominated for decades. But as the company chased that $7.5 billion target, the structural flaws began to show under the surface. If you're still watching, you're exactly who this channel is for. We're trying to get to 100,000
But time go by so fast. It's about to be Coachella time again, bro. When is Coachella?
subscribers in 2026. And by clicking that subscribe button, you don't just stay in the loop for future videos. Those massive numbers, Under Armour had to sell to a bigger audience than the elite athletes it started with. They moved away from being a premium brand found only in specialty sports stores and started filling the shelves at department stores like Kohl's. While this move boosted short-term volume, it damaged the brand's cool factor. By 2016, analysts were already warning that the brand was losing its grip on the teenage demographic, which is the lifeblood of the athletic apparel industry.
Yup.
Their focus on intense, gritty
teens wasn't wearing no damn Under Armour shoes, gang.
performance had made them successful, but it didn't translate well into the burgeoning athleisure market where people wanted clothes for everyday life, not just the gym. They were about to trip up. The first major reality check hit in late 2016. The company reported a sharp drop in profit margins and admitted that the incredible 20% growth streak was officially dead. Investors panicked, and the stock price fell 13% in a single day. This was the moment the Nike killer narrative started to unravel. Kevin Plank tried to reassure Wall Street by saying the brand was still in its early days, but the numbers suggested they had hit a ceiling. By early 2017, the situation turned from a slowdown into a crisis. The apparel market in North America was becoming a bloodbath of
Yeah, bro, you gotta make good apparel too. Like Under Armour never like you never caught no nigga wearing no Under Armour shirts. Like besides Philly niggas. Don't Philly niggas wear Under Armour? Yeah, Philly niggas and Baltimore niggas. Those the only niggas that wear Under Armour apparel.
discounting, and Under Armour found itself caught in the middle.
Niggas going on drills in Under Armour, a golf button up t-shirt that's made for a golfer.
With too much inventory and not enough demand. Under Armour reported its first ever quarterly loss as a public company. The problem was that Under Armour was a performance brand in a world that wanted lifestyle fashion. While Nike and Adidas were collaborating with rappers and high-end designers, Under Armour was still making super pajamas for recovery. Their shoes,
like I ain't never heard a nigga say, bro, I ain't never see a nigga with a Under Armour tech on. Like everybody be having the Adidas techs, track suits. Nigga, do they even have track suits Under Armour? They got to. Niggas wear the Nike Tech, Adidas tracksuit. I ain't never seen a nigga with an Under Armour tracksuit on. Like, nah, this ain't it. Fire. Y'all be wearing the Under Armour Tech? Y'all be wearing the Under Armour Tech? This for the girls, but this hard. This alright. It's cheap too, $38, and that shit on sale. Yeah, Under Armour. It's time to put the fries in the bag.
particularly the Curry 2 Chef colorway, became a meme on social media, with people calling them dad shoes and comparing them to something a nurse
Man, look at these shoes, bro, that Curry was getting made. Look at these shoes that was making for Curry game.
would wear. As the growth disappeared, federal investigators started looking into why it stayed high for so long. In late 2019, the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Department of Justice started investigating Under Armour's accounting practices. The core of the investigation was whether the company had pulled forward sales from future quarters to meet revenue targets during that famous growth streak without disclosing the practice. Basically, they were accused of channel stuffing, or convincing retailers to take inventory earlier than they needed it just to make the quarterly numbers look better to investors. The legal fallout was massive. In 2021, Under Armour agreed to pay $9 million to settle the SEC charges. But that was just the regulatory side. Shareholders filed a massive class action suit, claiming the company had misled them about its financial health. That battle dragged on until...
Come on, gang. Y'all lying, making it seem like y'all stock higher than what it is, gang. Like, making it seem like y'all... Like, gang.
June 2024, when Under Armour finally agreed...
Y'all down bad. Y'all suffering. Like,
to pay $434 million to settle the lawsuit. For a company already struggling with cash flow, a nearly $500 million settlement was a staggering blow. While the lawyers were fighting, the leadership was changing. Kevin Plank stepped down as CEO in early 2020, handing the reins to Patrick Frisk. Frisk was brought in to be the disciplinarian. His job was to clean up the mess, cut the inventory, fix the margins, and stop the constant product discounting. He spent 2 years trying to turn Under Armour into a premium brand again by pulling products out of thousands of unapproved retail locations. Then COVID-19 hit. Like every other retailer, Under Armour had to close its stores and furlough thousands of workers. But for a brand already in the middle of a delicate restructuring, the pandemic was devastating. They were forced to lay off 600 people globally just to keep the lights on. Even as the world reopened, Under Armour couldn't find its footing. Supply chain issues and lockdowns in China hammered their profits in 2022. Then, in June, Frisk suddenly announced he was stepping down, leaving the company without a permanent leader for months. The company then made a surprising choice for its next leader, Stephanie Linnartz, the president of Marriott International.
Yeah, so basically, Under Armour never really succeeded and passed Adidas and Nike because the apparel, like, and the shoes is garble.
The idea was that
Nobody wearing their apparel and nobody wearing them shoes.
Under Armour needed a digital and brand expert, not just another shoe guy. Linnartz arrived in early 2023 with a focus on women, sports style, and winning over Gen Z. But the market didn't give her much time. Revenue in North America continued to slide as competition from Lululemon and Hoka intensified. By early 2024, it was clear that the outsider approach wasn't working. After just over a year on the job, Linnartz was out. Then, in a move that shocked many on Wall Street, the company's founder, Kevin Plank, returned as CEO in April 2024. The stock fell as analysts questioned whether going back to the beginning was a sign of a company that had run out of ideas. Plank's return signaled a brutal return to roots. The company needed to get smaller to survive, so he launched a massive restructuring plan intended to simplify the business. They
And them shoes, like, bro, nobody wearing no runner shoes, gang. Like, nobody wearing no run. Like, yeah, nobody wearing no running shoes. Like, I'm not about to put on no running shoes with a fit, gang, with some jeans. Like,
expected to take $70 to $90 million in charges just to pay for layoffs and closing down parts of the company. In earnings calls, Plank was blunt, saying the brand had been doing too many things and needed to focus on being a premium performance brand for athletes again. In August 2024, the company reported a surprise profit, but it was largely because they were cutting costs so deep. Revenue was still falling, especially in North America, where sales dropped 14%. Plank started talking about the 80-20 rule, suggesting that the company was going to cut 80% of products that weren't driving significant profit. This meant the brand would stop trying to compete in every single sports category. Then, in November 2025, the hammer finally dropped. After 13 years together, Under Armour and Stephen Curry announced they were ending their partnership. For a decade, Curry was the only reason Under Armour was a player in the basketball world.
literally.
The company had even tried to give him his own sub-brand, similar to Jordan brand at Nike, but it never achieved the same cultural weight. Under Armour announced they would be spinning off or separating the Curry business as part of their expanded restructuring. The loss of Curry was the ultimate signal that the Nike killer era was over. By the time they reached the
Gang, it was Nike killer era was been over before they lost Curry. Like the
end of 2025, Under
nigga, Under Armour wasn't competing with no Nike boy.
Armour was a company
Like I said, them niggas had one good year, 2015.
that was essentially shrinking its way to profitability. They were cutting staff, cutting products, and cutting their most expensive endorsement deals. They weren't trying to be Nike anymore. They were just trying to be stable. Under Armour aren't the only people who are unstable right now. So, if you want a deep dive to find out more about distressed debt, leveraged finance, bankruptcies, and restructuring, Armour's latest financial results, released in February 2026, show exactly where the brand stands as of researching this video. Revenue for the third quarter of fiscal 2026 fell to about $1.3 billion, around a 5% decrease from the previous year. While that was slightly better than what analysts expected, the details are telling. North American sales
Like Under Armour gang, that's like middle-aged white woman shoes. Like, yeah, white women that go on jogs. That's your demographic. White women that like to hike and shit.
were down another 10%, continuing a years long trend of domestic decline. The brand is now leaning heavily on international growth to offset the fact that American consumers simply aren't as excited about Under Armour as they used to be. The company is currently in the middle of what they call a reset year, which has become a recurring theme in their investor calls. Kevin Plank told investors in February 2026 that they have significantly reduced their promotional activity, with a more intentional approach to promotions that protects brand equity and pricing integrity, meaning fewer Under Armour products in the bargain bins at malls. They also managed to get their inventory down to about $1.1 billion, which is a major improvement from the days when they were buried under excess product. But this discipline comes at a cost. By stopping the deep discounts, they are also stopping the massive revenue growth that once made them a Wall Street darling. When you look at the company's trajectory from 1996 to 2026, the structural flaw is clear. Under Armour built a massive business on a very specific, masculine, sweat and grit image. That image worked perfectly for a $2 billion company focused on football and weightlifting. But when they tried to turn it into a $10
Yeah, they still got football niggas. I didn't notice in that commercial. That's Ryder Lines. He committed to BYU.
billion
And that nigga one of the most popular high school football quarterbacks.
global lifestyle brand, they didn't have the cultural versatility to pull it off. Then they tried to be everything to everyone and ended up pleasing no one. The fallout from the accounting scandal also cannot be overstated. Settling for $434 million in 2024 took a massive chunk of change off the balance sheet at a time when the company desperately needed to invest in new products and marketing. It was a ghost from the hyper-growth era that came back to haunt them long after the growth had disappeared. As of early 2026, Under Armour is essentially a turnaround story that never quite turns the corner. They've raised their profit outlook slightly because of cost cutting and fewer discounts. But the brand's footprint is undeniably smaller, and they've abandoned the dream of becoming the next Nike. Instead, they are settling for being a niche player that makes solid workout gear for a specific group of athletes. It's a respectable business, but it's a far cry from the company that once told investors it was going to double its revenue in 3 years. They've gone from protect this house to just trying to keep the roof from leaking. It's a restrained, quieter Under Armour finally coming to terms with the fact that being the biggest doesn't always mean being the best. The company that wanted to kill Nike is now just trying to survive the world it helped create.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe and all do this. Yeah, I rather wear Champion shoes before I wear Under Armour shoes, man. Let's look at some Under Armour shoes. I was just looking on my phone. I was looking at Champion shoes. Champion shoes are I wear Champion before I wear Under Armour in the big 26. Um, I like these $80. Oh yeah, De'Aaron Fox still signed with Under Armour. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, DeFi. Okay, De'Aaron Fox shoes kind of nice. Halo Reed, like, gang, these running shoes, gang. Like, yeah. But look at Champion. Like, come on, son. Stop playing on Champion, bro. You like, come on, stop playing on Champion. Y'all can't tell me some of these shoes ain't hard, bro. Like, bro, I'll rock Champion before I'll rock some Under Armour. I got Champion shoes now. These bitches hard. Ooh. Like, come on. They slides comfortable. Like, We need to bring back Champion. Like y'all bringing back Vans and shit. Let's bring back Champion. We wearing Champion shoes in the Big 26. Facts. Boy, them Mexican niggas love Champions. But I worked there, bro. And bro, all the Mexicans used to buy Champion shoes. They buy Under Armour. Yeah, like, but yeah, it's your conversation. I've been on do this.